Greetings from the New Earth Star Sanctuary. Before we begin with the zodiac sign, please be sure you have watched the introduction. As you move into this transmission experience with me, if it feels more comfortable to you, you may close your eyes at any time or engage through the visual connection as well. In the time when the eyes of Mirab shone brightly, the cycle of Cancer was known as Mirab, the mother of the sea. She stood upon the back of a giant crab and wore a crown of 7 stars, which represented the 7 priestesses' stars of the Pleiades. The eyes of Mirab were the 2 moons of Earth. This was when the Earth still had 2 moons, and Mirab was encircled with the Korkoba, the sun robe, which was a symbolic representation of the solar infusion patterns within the heart, and is also to be found in the microcosm within the atom. The sun robe is woven from the receptors of divine presence, which are braided into the atoms of the subtle physical body. In the stellar window of Mirab, Cancer, the focus in the higher spiritual worlds is on the cleansing of the astral and lesser Akashic fields. It is a time for clearing away inhibiting and distorted forms and for re-establishing sacred original principle. From the Atlantean Book of 12 Faces, the sisters of Mirab come upon the earth during the time of the Queen of the Sea, Cancer, and sweep the tides with brooms of light, just as they sweep the places where souls dream and are reborn in the thought of life. With the sun's entry into Cancer, we begin what is perhaps the most profound journey of initiation offered in the annual sojourn through the zodiacal cycle. Cancer is the sign of the Universal Mother Principle. Leo is the sign of the Lords of Flame, or Universal Father Principle. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin of the World, who takes the fertilized planetary Christic embryo, which has been a product of the cosmic dance between the Universal Mother-Father, Cancer Leo, and gestates this embryo, passing it on to the developmental influences of Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius until it is finally given birth in Capricorn at winter solstice. If we align ourselves consciously to this movement within the Earth's annual cycle, we can then place our soul directly in line to receive a greater measure of grace for the birthing of the Christ child within ourselves. Each soul who is able to accomplish this does so not only for themselves, but for the planetary consciousness as well. As Corinne Helene stated in her book, The Mystery of the Christos, Cancer is the portal where human egos come to rebirth. The transmuting of generation into regeneration is the new birth, that birth which Christ spoke to Nicodemus when he came to the Master by night. Ms. Helene continues, the biblical keynote of Cancer is found in those words of Christ, "Except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Except a man be born of water," Moon in Cancer, "and spirit," Jupiter in Cancer, "he cannot enter the kingdom of God," Neptune in Cancer. This is one of the most explicit teachings on initiation given by Christ in his 3-year ministry. All men know the natural birth under the moon in Cancer, but few there are who learn to walk the straight and narrow way of renunciation of the flesh and dedication to the spirit implicit in the exaltation of Jupiter and Neptune in Cancer. Yet this is the true and only key to the elevation of consciousness, whereby man is lifted from the natural or water birth into the divine at one-ment of the fire birth in spirit. I now continue. Thus, Cancer is the sign which ushers us into the Cancer-Leo dynamic of water-fire initiation. The raising of the natural soul's vibration to that of the spiritual soul is greatly assisted in this sign. Cancer also ushers us into the Cancer-Leo-Virgo initiation of water, fire, earth. In this dynamic, we are first baptized in the universal waters of the greater creation, Cancer, then infused with the fire of spirit, the flame that does not burn, Leo, love, and then wedded to the earth to be gestated and rebirthed, Virgo, as the product of a cosmic, immaculate conception. In process with Cancer, you might wish to visualize yourself flying over the ocean, and looking down you see a beautiful blue hole, a deep, deep blue hole. And now you dive through the air and through the water into the blue hole, going deep. And there you find a sea cave. So you glide into that cave. And as you do, you notice there's so much light, so much luminosity. It's coming from the walls. It's everywhere. And yet it's not blinding, it's soft and permeating into your cells and into your being. You breathe it in. And you feel yourself uniting the power of your water with fire, with light fire. And you, as an earthen vessel, begin to breathe that combination. So you have all four elements working for you: the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. And as you become more and more effervescent, swirling, swirling, and turning in the liquid fire, water, earth, air. Now you rise up out of the cave, out of the water, and into the sky. And you draw about you your sun robe as a reflection of the lunar surface. And that orb of glowing moon sun light combines and moves deep into your heart chamber, lighting the whole of the chakras and ascending as a crown upon your head. And so it is.